Have you ever wondered what hypnosis might be and what it can do for you? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Hypnosis Everywhere with your host, Inez Simpson. This is the show that talks to everyone, from the experienced practitioner to the cautiously curious, and yes, even the skeptics. Now, here's Inez Simpson.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hypnosis Everywhere. And as usual, it's Inez Simpson here. And I do have Martin go over on the sidelines, making sure I do everything right. So we're welcoming a great guest today, and quite local to me. We live quite close. And she lives on Vancouver Island in Nanaimo instead of I live in Parksville. So she's here, and a local hypnotist that does phenomenal work. And what we're really going to talk about is the style of hypnosis that she does. And she does regular hypnosis. Everything is regular hypnosis according to me, right? You know that. I already said hypnosis is everywhere and everything pretty much. So, but what's her style of what she really likes to do is intuitive hypnosis. So I'm going to give you to Nathalie Ristord, and she's going to give you a little background on herself right now.
Well, thank you, and thank you for welcoming me to your show. I'm so happy to be here. And a little background. Well, first, I studied hypnosis in Montreal, and that's a while back, over 10 years ago. How did it start? Well, I used to be, a long time ago before that, I used to work in the video production field. And after a few years practicing in this field, I was asked to offer a few workshops in creativity, how to help people express themselves through art. So writing, dancing, painting, drawing. And when people were in that creative mode, they were taking themselves in some kind of trance. They were forgetting about time, they were forgetting about space, and they were just going, creating. And the results were not really that important. We were not looking to create a masterpiece. We were just here to let go of any kind of tension. And I was so curious, what is that trance? What is that moment where they fully disconnect from time? They're fully there and present. And I realized, okay, this is called hypnosis, this trance of hypnosis. So I just became a client of hypnosis, and I experienced hypnosis myself. And my hypnotherapist became my teacher. Actually, she had she was offering a training, a certification. So that's pretty much how I connected with hypnosis. And since then, I moved to Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, and it's been, over 10 years I'm practicing what we call regular hypnosis as well. It's the traditional way of doing it. Of course, there's a lot of energy. Well, the way I do it is also the way I got trained, which is regressions, going back in time, looking for the origin, the cause, the root cause of the issue. But there's a lot of energy work added to this. And over the time, I just realized that when I connect to my clients, I kind of get information from them even before they answer. I ask them a question: where do you see yourself? How old? What color? What place? And I started to have visuals of this before they even answer. And that's where I realized, what is this? What is that kind of thing? And I realized it's channeling. Actually, I got trained, I got mentored into mastering that kind of ability. And I just created intuitive hypnosis based on this. Now, allowing myself and allowing clients to tap into information that are not always available to them. And we're just hoping and connecting to get wiser information or something coming from what I call the higher self.
Okay, so talking about the higher self, we are very much on the same page with our belief systems and where we're working. So we might have different terminology because everybody uses different words for what they mean. So I'm going to ask you what you mean by higher self, and see, so people know that it's your what do you call it, Martin? You're supposed to help me.
I'm sleeping over here.
Yeah, and just to see. Yes, thank you. So just go ahead and do that.
Sure, for sure. So higher self, you may call it, or I heard people say, well, it could be the soul, it could be your super conscious mind, it could be intuition. So it doesn't matter how we call it. It is your highest guidance system. So when you, in your daily life, when you when you have the feeling that, oh my God, I feel I should be doing this, or you feel, oh, synchronicity, suddenly you're talking about a friend and that friend calls you. This is somehow your higher self, your highest guidance system trying to send you, reorient you on a path that is your path, that maybe you kind of, took a little shortcut, or you kind of
Went off.
went off, and you need to be reminded that you're here, you have a mission. So it's never ordering you to do something. It's hoping that you will catch on those this information, those details. So higher self is simply a part of you that is observing you from a higher perspective. And it's simply reminding you, remember, you choose to be here on this planet. You have a mission. At the same time, you're supposed to rediscover what your mission is. So I'm sending you information, not clear enough that you don't have any work to do, but sending you hints. So this is what I believe the higher self is. Your soul, your guidance system, it's a wiser part of yourself.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. I maybe a little bit different, but they're all connected, and it really doesn't matter what words we use because it's all about the intention anyway.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And go ahead. You wanted to?
No, that's good. So most people imagine that hypnosis all are visual. And looking at me, you know that I am not visual. So for me, it's always been that way. Doesn't mean I don't have vision. I don't want to explain that there's a difference between having vision and being visual. So in general, I know that what I always learned in hypnosis, and it stood me fast in this time, is that most people tend to be not the people seeing. And I've always been very careful with my language about that. And I noticed you use see. And do you find that most of your clients that are attracted to you are visual? Because I always say, just notice or something so that I don't limit that thing. And in this place, because you're having the vision, is it mostly because of that?
First of all, I do believe everybody is visual. Okay, then you will have one sense that is being prioritized. But if I'm telling you right now, let's say you come and see me and I'm saying, okay, visualize yourself going back to your car. Imagine you're going back to your car. Very quickly, your mind will build the images of where your car is parked and how to get back there. So we're all a little bit visual. But yes, some people coming to me, it's not even a prerequisite. I'm not even asking them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter whether they receive the information or the guidance through any other sense. Whether I had a client who actually was quite in a deep depression. She was referred by her doctor, and everything was black from A to Z. I could just describe as many visual landscapes or anything, nothing would come up. And you know what? It still worked. Why? Because she's in a mode of receptivity. I trust, I let go. And what her main sense was the kinesthetic sense. She would sense.
Yeah.
Or some people, if I'm just saying, okay, I see you doing this, then they start to either feel warmth within themselves. So another sense will take over.
Yeah. The reason I brought that up is that many people, when they're just listening, they will imagine that they'll see a movie or something like that. And that's not exactly how it works. So it's slightly, like you say, they'll all accept that on a different level, right?
Yes. The integration.
And none of them are right or wrong. It's just the person's ability.
Yes. And what happens is that you might not be extremely visual at a first session. And then the second session, suddenly things are pouring in, or between sessions, you realize that, because I do offer a recording to help people integrate the work they're doing. They realize, oh my God, it didn't work when I was with you, but the more I listen to the recording, or the more I do it on my own, more information is coming in, visual, through any kind of senses.
Yeah.
So it's not important. The work is happening because there's an energy exchange, and they're guided into feeling and opening up their mind into letting go of what creates an obstacle and feeling better.
Yeah, so that's great. I wanted that explained because there's a lot of people here who don't know a lot about hypnosis. So I wanted to make that clarity for them. Thanks very much. And so you can just see if you can remember where you were and go on from there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Maybe I could talk about the difference between intuitive hypnosis and traditional hypnosis. So if you're okay with that.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I'm good with that.
But so what I call traditional hypnosis could be RTT for some people, rapid transformational therapy. I've been trained in this as well. Or it could be just going back in time in this life in order to go back and pinpoint where the root cause of what you're experiencing, whether it's anxiety, whether it's a fear, a phobia, whether it's a lack of confidence or a chronic pain. So this is, for me, traditional hypnosis. We are connecting to your subconscious mind where all your memories and patterns and habits, whether they're yours, whether they're your family's or society, everything is anchored there. This is traditional hypnosis. We are connecting to your subconscious mind to find out what is the root cause, what created this. When we do intuitive hypnosis, from my perspective, of course, we are connecting, we're bypassing the conscious mind, which is always analyzing everything, which is the ego. We are bypassing the subconscious mind where all the earth experiences you went through are being stored, and also physical responses. We want to we bypass this, in order to connect to your higher self, okay? When you connect to the higher self, you could retrieve so much information. You could retrieve past lives. Whether you believe in it or not doesn't matter. Your mind, your physical mind, your earth mind will make a connection. If I see this person in another time, in another space, it's because it's trying to show me something about what I'm going through right now in my earth life. So it could be this. It could be any connection with a guide, any connection with a high being, any connection with something from another dimension. It could be anything around guidance, any kind of guidance. It could also be something connected to your inner child. So it can take us everywhere, but the connection is a lot purer. It's not being affected by your earth thinking. So any information you retrieve, again, is to help you, to guide you, and it's always whatever you're ready to receive. If you're not able or willing or ready to receive any kind of guidance, even if it sounds woo, don't worry, it won't come in. Your higher self is probably the best guide you can ever have. So it will really show you what you need. And usually sessions are happening this way. First of all, when they're in person, because it could be in person or it could be remotely done through Skype. But when they're in person, I do an exercise that do includes tapping, some kind of work, just to allow people to get out of their analytical part aside, subconscious mind. So that tapping part, which is all done intuitively. There's no process, there's no patterns, whatever you need to release. That is the first part. Then we're getting both of us, the client and myself, into hypnosis. And then, because your mind is already vibrating at a higher level, we are both receiving that kind of, I would say, wiser, purer information. So that's where it's different.
So I was just going to say the same thing with using the higher mind, and however you explain it. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be doing the best for you.
Yes.
Always. It's as if it has the morality built in. It's got goodness built in, whatever you want to call it, and that it's always going to make sure that what it gives you is going to be good for you.
Exactly. It's what you're ready to receive at the moment. You could have the same type of session a year later or a month later. You have already evolved. The information will be more precise. It will be based on who you are at the moment you have that session. And yes, it's extremely wise, caring, loving, nurturing you. It wants you to evolve. It's you at a higher level. It's that kind of parenting energy that really wants you to succeed, because when you succeed on an earth level in your life, then your vibration will definitely resonate with other people, and you will expand, you will evolve, you will grow, and obviously you're just also helping your higher self evolve. It's kind of a teamwork.
Yeah. So I'm on the same page, but just so I can elaborate a little bit for the people who don't understand what they mean by vibration, we're talking about frequencies here. And maybe you can give them a little bit of a snip on that so that they understand.
Yeah, vibration. Well, I mean, if you're a spiritual person, you will understand it's how you feel. It's how your level of gratitude about life, about what you have, what you have achieved, what's coming. It's your connection to the present moment. So the more relaxed you are, the more your vibration, your inner energy, and what you project outward will be more positive in a certain way. I shouldn't say negative positive, because I don't think it's the way of evaluating, but vibration is your state of being.
Yeah.
And the higher you vibrate, the more you're open to receiving guidance. Again, synchronicity, intuition, enjoying the present moment, meditating. Everything is a potential avenue to grow. So vibration is simply a state of being. That's how I explain it.
And when people come for hypnosis, they are coming to change something, usually. So when they are open to change like that and they move forward, it happens very quickly that their vibration changes and they don't even know they were that other person anymore, because now they've already gone to a new level of being, right? So most people don't even sometimes know that this change has just been so quick a change that they think it always was.
They will remember who they were, because that's part of the lesson. The only way you have grown and evolved, it's because somehow you remember, a year ago I was there. But there's kind of a contraction of time. It's like, that could have happened yesterday. You have a session with Ines, with Nathalie, or any beautiful hypnotherapist on the planet, and suddenly you realize, oh my God, suddenly I'm not reacting to that comment the same way.
Yeah.
But I did yesterday. Suddenly it feels like it's a long time ago, but because you have shifted, simply you have evolved.
Yeah. Perfect. That's perfect explanation. Okay. So we've got a couple minutes till break. So do you want to just go on from there, and we'll go to break after that too?
Sure. Maybe I could just say that what hypnosis, whether it's regular hypnosis or intuitive hypnosis, can be done in person or remotely. I do it like live, the way we are talking now. The person is right there, connected wherever they are in the world, or I can connect to their higher self on my own schedule. I record it, send them to them, and when they're ready, they listen to the recording. Again, time is not that important. If they listen to the recording a day, 24 hours later, it is still containing the same information, the same energy based on the person they are right now. They could listen to the recording a month later, it will still contain the same words, but the energy will have shifted, as I say, it's an ever-evolving kind of work. So it will still grow with them. That's what is so wonderful. So in person or remotely, the impact, the positive impact, the therapeutic impact is still the same.
And the great thing about that is, because that's continuing, you are empowering them to allow themselves to change more.
And I think, don't you think it's the mission we should have as a therapist or a practitioner? Empower people, give them their power back. I don't want to have a client coming back to me every week saying, Nathalie, I really need you to guide me into becoming whoever I am. So no, I want to give you the tools in order to feel yourself again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Now, the other thing is, so just to explain to the clients out there is that, I'm very spiritually oriented, you're very spiritually oriented, but I get a lot of clients who aren't spiritually oriented. They're just there for change, whatever that is to them. So I also want them to know that you handle and work with people who are not necessarily on a spiritual, knowing everybody's on a spiritual journey, but they're not their intention doesn't lie there.
Yes, being alive is actually a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't have to. Remember, I'm still offering what I call regular hypnosis.
Okay. Sorry, I started leading you on before I got my little signal, so we'll pick that up on the when we come back, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Hypnosis Everywhere and Nathalie Ristord. And I'm just going to get her to finish the thoughts that she was talking about before we went out to break.
Sure. What were we talking about? About regular hypnosis and intuitive hypnosis?
We were talking about, if because we are what consider spiritual beings, and we think everyone is, but some people aren't on that wavelength of belief, then they still come for hypnosis, and it makes no difference if you're that kind of person who doesn't believe in that particular thing. We're not here to change belief systems for people, but we are here to help them. So it doesn't really matter.
Actually, we're here to help them connect to their own belief system, whatever it is. So you don't have to have a spiritual mind in order to work with hypnosis, not at all. I call it intuitive hypnosis. I mean, one aspect of what I'm doing is intuitive hypnosis because I'm connecting to an aspect of their person. But actually, what is important is what the person would like to work on. Is it anxiety? Is it a lack of confidence? Is it relationship issues? Is it issues at work? Is it chronic pain? Is it a loss of track of what their life mission is? It could be so many things. So actually what is important is to find out what would you like to work on. And then together we simply decide, okay, is traditional hypnosis more effective for you? And then should we switch to more intuitive hypnosis? Whatever your mind is willing to work with will actually be the method we will use.
Yeah. But intuitively, I think even in regular hypnosis, we still tend to use intuitiveness of the client and ourselves a lot. So you're just expanding on that in the intuitive.
Yes, actually, intuitive hypnosis is something that I've been using recently, based on my 10-year and more experience. When people are coming, let's say for anxiety, and we're doing what we call traditional hypnosis, which is taking them into a deep relaxing mode and allowing them to pinpoint where the issue is. I have people on their own that are seeing energy and color being kind of targeted or being shifted within their body. So I haven't even talked about chakra, any kind of spiritual energy shift happening within them. They see it for themselves. So I know that their higher self, their higher mind, their intuitive self is already at play. So again, you do not have to believe in you don't even have to have any notion of what an energy center is. Your mind will know, this is what you need to clear right now. I'm going to show you something you can actually understand and accept. And I'm not telling them, oh, no, we're doing regular hypnosis. I don't want you to go this way. I'm saying, let's go with it.
No, let's go.
Oh, let's go. Your mind is way, way miles ahead from the actual basic technique. So let's go with it. So actually, again, your mind is extremely wise. It will take you and use a method that you're willing to use. So there's no wish. We explain what hypnosis is in different methods, but in the end, it's just one hypnosis, one hypnotherapy modality. We use the method that fits with a person's needs and goals and personality and beliefs, and it will evolve over time, and we will go further, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. When you have a client come and where they start and where they end up, it's always really exciting for us, right?
Yes, it is so rewarding for us because every time we're entering into a world that is fascinating. It's somebody's life, but it's somebody's mind, somebody's spiritual aspect if we go there. And it's extremely important. We have to let them go. We have to let them follow their intuitive path, their journey, definitely.
Yeah.
But it can work on any issue you have. Hypnosis is really, it's a natural state of the mind. Everybody goes through hypnosis many times a day. So it's not something we are imposing or a modality that people don't really know. It's just something you experience on your own already.
I have to say, though, that from way back in the 50s, when mostly they used to say there's only half people are hypnotizable, which was, we have moved forward so much since the 50s and 60s. And every day we are people are finding easier and better ways for clients to connect to their higher selves, get what they need, all that stuff. So I've seen a lot of progress in this especially the last 10, 20 years. So do you agree with that, or is that just me?
I totally agree. It's not just you. It's actually what makes, first of all, people are opening their minds. It's just they realize that sometimes they need to go to complementary practitioners in order to realize that, okay, I need some support than just what my doctor or psychologist can give to me. So already people are open to try new things. And then we realize that, the mind is already also open to try new experiences. And I do believe, probably like you do, that healing will accelerate for people. Okay, it's just because they're welcoming other ways of accepting the healing, not just from their doctor, not just from their family or whoever is usually helping them. And because they're curious, because they're willing, they want to feel better, they know they have access to all those potential modalities, then they go for it, they try it. And us as practitioners, of course, it's stimulating. So we are blending different things we have learned, we have read about, that we're experiencing ourselves, and we feel free. We feel free to test it with people, to play with them into this. It's a game, but it's also a way of exploring the mind and the spiritual mind.
I call it they always said the space, the last frontier, but I always say it's the mind because it's infinite.
Yes, definitely. I don't think there's any limit to what we can do, and we're setting limits based on the technology we have to measure things.
Yeah.
Eventually, our technology will improve, and we'll realize what we didn't see or didn't know existed is suddenly, oh my God, we have the proof is there. So does it mean that it's not there because we cannot see it now? Of course, there's so many things accessible. And hypnosis, meditation, any kind of deep inward or introspective kind of work can allow you to discover more things than your eye can see.
I used to work with a shaman. He's passed on now, but he used to say to me, because I'm usually in my head or my heart, but he said it's body, mind, and spirit, and it's not just because I leave my body part behind a lot of the time. Yeah. And so that brings me to another question of I need to explain to people a little bit of what limiting beliefs are and that what hold us back, and to allowing this to happen, and as it can shift so easily, right?
Yeah, it depends on how your education, how you were brought up, where you live in the world. I mean, your beliefs are a construction of what you have been exposed to. That is like any kind of limits. You can break it, you can go further, but be adventurous. Try whatever feels like, I think this is an avenue I should try. You will always evolve. You will always progress by being curious, and your mind is limitless. Your intuition, is definitely limitless.
Which also brings me to think that, people sometimes think because we're hypnotherapists that we should be perfect by now, But we have limiting beliefs. We have programming that's in there. And we're just a regular human being that is helping other people move on too.
I thought we were perfect, Ines. Oh, I guess, okay, I'm coming back to Earth now. but it's true. You're right. As long as you're alive, whether you're a doctor, does a doctor never get sick?
No.
And no. So, of course, as soon as you're alive, you're here to progress. You're alive. It means there's more information to come in. So we have also things to learn. And, we learn a lot from our clients as well. They can be so creative in the way they see things, or they use our own method. Suddenly we guide them in one way, they go another way, and we're just, oh my God, you're healing yourself on your own here. I'm just merely a guide here. We learn from it, and you get out from the session like definitely empowered yourself as a practitioner. So no, we have to tell everybody that a therapist is not a god. It's not somebody who has mastered every tools here on the planet. No, if not, I guess we would be on another level, definitely.
I've actually had people say that to me. I carry a few extra pounds, and they'll say, well, how come you still carry weight? And I'll say, well, I have a limitless amount of stuff to work on. It's absolutely limitless. And there's a hierarchy of need in each one of us, and each one will look at a different thing.
Yes. And you have also to be an example. I mean, you're helping people reach their maximum potential, to feel themselves, to reconnect to who they are. You have to show them the way in a certain way, because we're kind of an example. So you have to show them that you went through something similar, that you're looking yourself for issues. I mean, for some reasons, I'm attracting a lot of empaths, a lot of light workers, a lot of highly sensitive people. So those people, when you're highly sensitive, they're going through a lot of anxiety, taking a decision or getting away from what is known. Well, why? Why are they attracted to me? Because anxiety used to be, and is still sometimes part of my life. And because I'm learning how to deal with them, suddenly it's easy for me to say, hey, I went there. I can show you what I've learned. I can show you how I did it. So it's you become a part of the solution. Look, if I'm not human, how can I give you proper advice on how it is to be a human, the best version of a human?
I believe, our lives, we all have lives that have up and down and all kinds of things. But most of those things for people who are in the helping field are actually been taken on, and sort of we work other people to know that they can do that, that they could allow themselves to heal from whatever that is.
Yes, and I forgot who said that, but you always teach what you need to learn. So it's probably what we're doing too. We are so curious about hypnosis that we had to try it ourselves in order to share it, and we're so convinced it's working.
So I would always use the term that we're wounded healers, and that's why is because we need to we all experience stuff, and we help people with what we've either overcome or on the process of overcome.
Yes, we're just a little bit more advanced in the process of healing. That's why we're able to help people feel better. So we have a little bit more experience in terms of how to get rid of any blocks or emotional, physical blocks, because we went there and we gathered tools and we made our own method. So we just have more experience. That's why they come to us. But we can relate to them easily.
But they come to us, but both of us empower people to keep going on their own. And it doesn't mean that they have to come back to us all the time, because like you said, that's sort of something we're not looking for. We're not looking forward to getting some kind of connection, and we want to empower the client to be able to move themselves.
It is the key thing. And hypnosis, whether you do intuitive hypnosis or traditional hypnosis, is actually, or hypnotherapy, it's actually a very, very fast way of getting rid of your blocks and reconnect to who you are truly. It's one of the quickest and most rapid way of doing so. So yeah, you want to be empowered.
Yeah, and for me, we're going to break again shortly. It goes too fast, doesn't it? Yeah. We're all wounded healers, and we all help people with what we know and what we feel, sense, or know, in other words. And then we also take them to a place where they move forward and they continue to become better and better all the time.
I just say it's a reconnection. You're always connected to your higher self, to your inner guidance system, to your subconscious mind, to your healing abilities. You're connected to it.
In some ways, it's actually...
we just strengthen
Yeah.
connection.
It's actually that we are actually showing them how to connect with themselves, and something they would not have necessarily believed that they have that. And once they know they have that inner guidance system, their whole life changes.
Definitely. I would say it's a reconnection, because I do believe we're
Yeah.
never disconnected.
No.
Just forgot where the plug is.
Yeah, that's right.
We forgot to turn the switch on. We know it's there, we know it, but how do we get there? And hypnosis is definitely a way to reconnect to your body, its ability to heal itself, to recode yourself, and the same with your mind, how to reprogram it in a way that it answers your goals, So yeah, definitely helping them reconnect.
We help people a lot by teaching them the little subtle ways of doing better and reprogramming themselves. And guess what? It's break time again. So we'll see you on the other side.
Sure.
You're listening to Hypnosis Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And we're having an exciting, passionate show here with us. And I thought I'd ask Nathalie now just to give us some examples of what she's done with intuitive hypnosis.
Sure. So again, intuitive hypnosis is just one way to help people feel better, reconnect to who they are. So usually people will come for issues such as anxiety, or loss, or you're at a time in your life where you don't know. You have been working so many years in the same work. You have raised your children. Okay, now what do I do? What is my life mission? So it could be very, very emotional. It could be reconnecting to your life path, or it could be just, hey, what is on the other side? What is my connection with my spiritual journey? So maybe the best ways to talk about a few examples of different sessions I had. So one session, and I'll try to condense the experience, because the experience can be so big. So first of all, we both go in hypnosis, and I start to connect to their higher self. So because we're both into that deep level of receptivity, whatever I receive will be somehow visualized internally by the person. So there will be times where I will connect to a past life. I will take a person. There's an example of a person. She was wondering how to continue with her work. She's an entrepreneur, and she was wondering, okay, what is the next step for me? I have a feeling I'm hitting a wall there. And I saw herself, but she saw it herself too in her own way. She was actually a student of a Indian guru a long time ago. We don't always have time frames there. And we could actually revisit the teachings she was receiving. We had the location, they were meditating a lot, and we were receiving teachings on what she had learned already in this lifetime and how she could transpose it in this lifetime as her on earth right now. And the information, the feedback was amazing, was really amazing. It even gave her, through whatever I was receiving, tools on how to meditate right now. Because you do receive healing. It's not just information. It's also, your higher self is also guiding you into what you can do in your everyday life in order to reconnect and stay connected to the source of information that is pouring in every day for you. So it gave her a routine of how to connect to her higher self, on her own, not having to connect with me all the time, or just, going in a course or in a yoga class. She could, but then she had a whole routine: when to do it, how to do it, which words to say, and what kind of connection she could have. So it gives you hints on how to do it on your own. For other people, it's really a reconnection to a time in their past as a child, a part of themselves that they have left behind. They didn't nurture the little child within them that maybe didn't get the attention from the parents. So we revisit that time. And again, it is being suggested. It is being sent to us. And the child talks to the adult, and the child say, I would like to play again. I would like you to have fun, because I'm still within you. I'm still living. I still want you to enjoy your adult life. So by reconnecting those two aspects, it's easier to feel more integrated, and you can have connection with past, or I shouldn't say passed over people that crossed over, and that are sending you messages. I have a client who had lost one of her children, and she was feeling totally lost, because your child is not supposed to pass away before you, and her life was ended. She didn't know how to enjoy life anymore. And suddenly the energy, or the being, whatever you want, or the soul of her child came in to talk to her, and she realized how wise the teachings of this being was beyond what she remembered of her child. I'm fine, Mom, I'm fine, but this is what you can do. This is what you can do every day to know that we're connected, to know that we're there. And from that session, she felt a lot lighter. She didn't feel the pain, she didn't feel the guilt, and she realized that he has a mission on the other side, and the mission was to help children. And suddenly, and another funny thing is that a title of a song came in, and I said, he's telling me to tell you this. And she says, yeah, this song is what he used to play in the guitar. And the following day, she heard that song on the radio, and she knew that's it, is here. And we just broke her fear that she was completely disconnected from the soul of her child. So it can take so many avenues, connecting to other dimensions, connecting to another being, your guides, or connecting to your inner child, connecting. But it's giving you tools. You receive guidance in how you can apply those advice, or this advice, in your everyday life. So, and I coach people. I make sure that the information they receive, and it is being recorded, they can play it again, because more information will be unfolded as they listen to the recording. But I do connect with them a few days later. How did you integrate what you received? Does it help you to adapt in your life right now? So it's an ongoing process, definitely.
And I just want to make another chat with the audience, that to remind them that you can totally do this online. You don't have to come to Nanaimo necessarily to see Nathalie. And that is for most hypnotherapists today, that we are definitely, the technology has allowed us to do that. So distance and space and time have a way of changing, don't they?
We're so grateful about that. Some people say technology could definitely take away some ways of the way we used to communicate before, but it doesn't take away this. It's just adding other ways to communicate. And yes, you can have a session through Skype, and it could be pre-recorded. It does contain, it's not really the words that are being used, it's the energy, how it's being infused with healing. It's a connection that remains, beyond time and space, really. So again, sessions will be as beneficial, as productive, whether you're here with me or you're far, far away. But if you want to come and visit Vancouver Island,
yeah, it's beautiful.
We'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing to remember, is that it doesn't matter what you need to work on. Your higher mind will always give you the best solution for you, because it's totally directed through yourself to yourself.
Every session is different, even for the same client. So again, you're evolving. What you're able to receive as guidance, as healing, as advice will evolve over time. Whatever we did a year ago will be obsolete and totally outdated for you right now, because you have integrated this. So of course you will be open to receive a lot more. So again, yes, you do not have to believe in deep spirituality. It's beyond this. It's whatever your mind believes you're ready to receive right now. And yes, if it has to be spiritual, you will have a deep spiritual experience. If it's more trying to reprogram your mind, in order to see life with a more positive vision, then we will go this way. It's like I'm totally to the service of the person. I have so many tools in my pocket that I'll use whatever is necessary.
So that lets me lead into, is you speak French fluently and you speak English fluently. Is there anything else that you speak?
Well, the language of light.
Now, but if I just wanted to know that our listeners in France and in Quebec, for instance, or anywhere else that's French, you're maybe using French as your second language or first time language, it doesn't matter. Nathalie will facilitate that online or locally.
Yes, so bonjour à tout le monde, just in case. Yes, I do this in French, in English. I do this. I work with people from France, from Europe, from the US, from Quebec, from, it's kind of the limit, from Australia, New Zealand. You know how it works. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, there's no longer any boundaries in that.
Yeah, so if ever some people listening, their French is their first language, we would work with your primary language, which is always easier for people to express themselves. So,
yeah, that's great. Otherwise, I think the whole thing with the intuitive hypnosis is that it is totally, sure, you're channeling the vision and they're channeling the vision, but it's always totally led by their own mind. And I know I keep pounding that, but I want people to understand that their concept of hypnosis may be very different from reality.
Yes, yeah. It is their mind. It's their mind. Whatever I say, even if I was saying I'm saying something for you and for them it was a concept they did not understand, it doesn't matter. Again, words are words based on what I see, what I've learned, and you may, as a client, see it in a different way or integrate it in a different way. Remember, your mind is extremely protective of who you are. If you're not ready to see something, well, then you'll see it in your own way. You will receive the information in your own way. It's so wanting you to evolve and feel better that it will show you what needs to be seen for you right now based on where you are in your evolution.
Or what you can understand right now.
Exactly.
Right?
Of course. So you don't need to do hypnosis on a regular basis. It's not that kind of a modality of therapy. But let's say you want just to move forward. You could connect once a year to say, okay, I need to move forward. I need some more guidance there. That is a possibility as well.
Okay, so we are getting close to the end of the show. So I want to make sure you give your website and any other information you want people to have.
Sure. So if you're on Vancouver Island, you can connect to nanaimohypnosis.com or my name, Nathalie Ristord. So I think maybe I'll spell it to you, Nathale, Ristord, Ristord.com. So those two websites will give you maybe a little bit of different information, but you will know how to contact me. And very, very soon, actually on nanaimohypnosis.com, I do offer a free self-hypnosis recording, working on general issues, but that's maybe a way for you to find out if hypnosis is for you. And you will be also at NathalieRistord.com be able to download a recording to experience intuitive hypnosis on your own. So you can experience the regular hypnosis and the intuitive hypnosis on your own before you try a live one.
And just on another note, we understand that the higher mind, as we're calling it, will never surpass your free will. It will never, and that's what people are always afraid of in hypnosis, that something is going to make them do something they don't want, and it's never going to happen.
You never lose control of the session, of the content, because you're not sleeping, you're aware. So if for some reason you decide, I want to end the session one, I have here now because I have enough information, that's it, the session is over. You're not sleeping, you're not losing control, you're actually gaining more control. That's true. Is the gift.
And much more awareness.
And much more awareness.
Yes, and it's an interesting thing that most people, when they do it, they really understand that they are much more than shows to just the conscious part of us.
It is important that we all reconnect to that kind of inner world we all have. And as soon as you can reconnect to it with hypnosis, but it could be creativity. You want to write about your life, how you feel. You want to paint. You want to walk in the nature and connect to nature and contemplate life around you. This is a form of hypnosis, and you can start with this and then dive deeper.
Yeah.
There's more to you than what you talk about and what you see, definitely.
Well, I hate to say this, but we're coming to the end of the show, and it's been great.
Pleasure.
It has been. Our hours always pass very quickly. And I was just going to mention who's on this. Oh, next week we are having Kaz Riley on, and it's close to Valentine's. And if you've listened to any of Kaz's programs before, it's usually about sex and hypnosis. So, and it's very helpful. It's not just about that erotic sex. They do have hypnotists that work in that, but I have never had one on yet, so we'll see what that is. But Kaz will be here, and she's very popular, and I'm really glad to see her because we do work together also, and it'll be nice. So we'll see you next week, just before Valentine's, with Kaz Riley. And good night. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathalie. It's great.
It was a pleasure.
All right, you're clear.
Thanks.
Thank you. So
C'est bon.
C'est bon. C'est bon. You open the bottle of champagne.